Delta Drive Designs. Welcome back for another episode on how to take off the bed on a 1964 M-677. So on the previous videos, I've gotten it all stripped. Got the fenders off, got the rocker panels off. Now all I gotta do is remove the bolts and find a good way to lift it. I'll see if I can manhandle it first. I'm suspecting it weighs about 200 to 300 pounds, so I don't think I'll be able to do that. So I got a few options. One being I can bring the cherry picker over and try to pick in the middle of the bed. If that doesn't work, I can get some help. That's obviously the easiest one. 3 people ought to be able to pick this up, 3 or 4 people. Or I do have a 2-post lift that I could back this in the garage and lift it off, which is what I'll end up doing with the cab. But it's a pain to finagle in there right now. I've got stuff up on the lift, so I'm gonna try to manhandle it first. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Alrighty, well, stay tuned. Let's get... Alright, let's get to it. Alrighty, so we got this side off. So it turned out just to be easier just to cut them off. Because they're really hard to get to with wrenches, and they're just super rusty. So cut that one off. It was a bit of a challenge to cut through the rubber, but I got through on that one. This one over here, kind of take note of the sequence here. We got this weird U-shaped bracket. I'm not sure what that's for. I imagine it's stock because it's welded to this cross member. It's probably just, I don't actually even know. I'm guessing it's because of the slight difference in the bed configuration than like a 170, and maybe 170s have it. I'd have to check one of my family's rigs to see if it also has that. But it is nice because you can get to the bolt from this side. So this one I was able to get wrench and impact on, but it ended up just breaking. And it's stuck in the wrench, so I'll have to hammer that out. And then this side, the fastener was all like buried inside of a washer, like they over torqued it or something. So I couldn't even get a wrench on it. So I just cut it, and that was the easy way. And I got rid of that stupid thing, which was, as far as my assumption is, it was for the camper they had in this. Like the previous owner took the camper out. Hopefully he sold it because it was a super cool custom aluminum camper, but I didn't want to deal with it, so he took it off, and hopefully he sold it. But that's what I believe that was for. So we got this side free, and then we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. All right, well that wasn't too bad. I was able to get those 3 bolts off. Again, this one broke with the impact. That one gave me a little trouble. I actually ate through one blade. I think I pushed it a little too hard and work hardened the bolt, and then it just kept melting the blade. So then I switched to my oscillating tool, the carbide bit, and that one ultimately did it, but I did lose. Where did that tool go? Oh yeah, well I lost half my chunk of my carbide. So hopefully whatever I have left today I can finish with 3/4 of a carbide. These are a little pricey, but they're worth it. I think it was 20 bucks for 3 of them. But they'll generally do the job a little better when cutting metal, and less chance of work hardening, but they're brittle. That's the only downside with it. Alright, so we got that off. I think it's a little too heavy for me to try to manhandle. So I'm going to explore some rigging options, get everything out of here, get this weighed out. But actually first, before I do that, I'm gonna get this air tank out. It's just extra weight. So I'm gonna get the bandsaw or the sawzall on there and cut the straps. And then we'll have, 10 pounds less weight we gotta deal with. So let me get set up for that guy. we got the cherry picker all rigged up. Made a little I-frame sandwich between the rails. I used these GRK fasteners to screw it all together. These are actually rated. Most fasteners aren't rated for engineering purposes, but these are good for, I want to say right around 950 pounds of pullout. And then shear, they're rated pretty good too. I can't remember what that is. So we're working a lot of shear right here, but I've got, I don't know, easily 10 fasteners. So no one fastener is going to see more than like 20 or 30 pounds. But but to get this pulled off, I don't have long enough reach on the cherry picker, so I've got to pull a little off center. I'm hoping it'll get up enough and then slide up against the ram, and then it'll be centered. So give it a try, and then we'll reposition as needed. All right, good deal. Let's give it a try. We're off. So it looks like, yep, we're fully clear. And we're weight, we read that 242.5. So that's what rear bed on an M-677 weighs. All right, we're gonna go ahead and allow the Jeep to go forward. That way I can lower this down on the ground. Good deal. Looky there, one bed removed. So in movie time, I don't know, 30 minutes. Real time took about 2 hours, not counting disassembling the fenders and whatnot. But so it's actually not too bad. Like I said in the previous clip, it's like 240 pounds. Probably because it's all rust. And this right here is why I'm probably gonna have, well, no, I'm definitely gonna have to replace the whole bed, because it's, all that, just hitting this, it just shakes out. So it means all of these gullies are filled with rust. And what's curious, I'm curious why they've got this piece. So they've got, this is one skin, this is another skin or floor, overlaps here. But then they've got this third piece. And I don't know if the other Jeeps have it. I've never seen it before, but they may very well have it. Or they just, the piece that they cut off over here to make it shorter, they just welded on here. But yeah, so I'll have to do some investigation on that, see if the other Jeeps have it. But there it is. So that's the bottom side. I don't know if there's anything of interest on here. Pretty straightforward. I need to do some research. I can't tell if this is the original fill hole or that's the original fill hole. I'm pretty sure it's this one because it's riveted closed. And as I mentioned previously, the long-term owner, previous owner who did all the work to it, he did everything with rivets. So this was one of his fixes. And yeah, fuel tank was bolted to the bottom, so you peel all that off. Yeah, and here's some structural repairs I'll have to do. I think I've mentioned that in the triage video. But I'll need to, the bottom's good, but the top's gonna have some fresh metal. So I need to do some thinking on what the best way to disassemble this thing is, because it looks like the floor. How does this work? Oh, interesting. Oh, that's interesting. That's not what I was expecting. So it looks like this bottom piece is, they formed it over to make the frame rail. So this is all one piece to the center. And that actually makes more sense now, because I was looking at these rails, you know, and they're sitting on top of the bed. So that actually complicates things a little more. Or maybe not. Yeah, maybe I can just cut it off, you know, 2 inches over from here, and then scab on a new base with some new metal right here. But, interesting. Now the cross members, they look okay. Yeah, maybe I'll add another one. I assume this is probably for structural, since it's at the very end of the bed. So it's probably not doing a whole lot. So maybe I'll put another one of these guys, you know, copy this, put one like right here. But a lot of work to do before then. But the first step's done. Got it removed. Cool. Thanks for watching. See ya.